Hi everybody, it's Connie and welcome to week 8 of the 90-day project. Today I'm talking to you about focus and the importance of what you focus on and how you use your focus. And this is so important because, believe it or not, the way that you look at a situation and what aspects of it that you focus on can actually completely change the way that you feel about it. And also where you're focusing in terms of wanting to attract and manifest things in your life, where you're putting your focus can actually really determine the results that you're getting. So I think it's a really important topic to talk about, and I really want to share some helpful and useful information around this area. So on the blog post, I have listed 5 techniques that I recommend you can use if you want to start to shift your focus and start to change the way that you're looking at things so that you can start to change the results that you're getting and also the way that you're feeling. So seeing I've kind of gone into quite a bit of detail on the blog about those 5 techniques, I'm not going to explain them in detail in this video, but what I wanted to use this video for is to share an example with you. An example from my own life where I have harnessed the power of my focus and used it to my advantage, and also actually used these 5 techniques to create an awesome result in my life. It was a goal I was working towards, and I was able to achieve amazing results, an amazing manifestation kind of unfolding with this goal as a result of these techniques that I used. So I'm going to share that with you now so that you can really see how you can apply this and the difference that it can make for you. So it was last year, 2011, in about February, that I moved to Sydney. I moved to Sydney from Melbourne. And I had been living in Melbourne for a couple of years, and I'd made the decision I wanted to move back to Sydney as I'd previously lived here before. So it was about 3 months leading up to the time where I wanted to move that I really made this decision that it was going to happen. And I decided I wanted to move in mid-February 2011. And I made this decision sort of back in, I think it was kind of November, December of 2010. So what I did, I set my intention, I set my goal, and I was like, right, this is what I really want. And I knew it was a decision I was making from my heart. There was a lot of reasons why this was the real right choice for me. So I knew it was really backed by my truth and by my passion, and it was really aligned with what was right for me. So I set that intention, and I'm going to share with you what I did and how I used these 5 techniques to really support me. So the first thing that I did, and I mentioned this as one of the points on the blog post, is I got visual. I got really visual about my desire. I created a vision board, and on there I had all these images of things about Sydney that I loved, and different characteristics of Sydney, and it really helped me get the feel of what it was that I wanted. And I also created a countdown calendar, and I had the calendar up above my desk, and it had the months and weeks counting down to the date, and I said on there in sort of mid-February, moving to Sydney. So I was already setting out this really clear intention, really clear message to the universe that this was happening, right? That this was done, okay? And then what I did after that was I started to act as if. So even though at this stage I had nothing in place, no evidence to show me that my desire was going to take place, I just decided to act as if it was done. Act as if this was happening. So I started packing up all of my possessions, packing up my bedroom, packing up all of my furniture, putting stuff in boxes that needed to go into storage, putting stuff in boxes of things that I wanted to take with me. I had decided I wanted to buy some new furniture for my move to Sydney, so I went out and actually bought that furniture. I started looking into trucks, in hiring a truck that would move me from Melbourne to Sydney, and I was getting all the quotes and getting all that sorted, and I was also looking into airplane flights to fly me from Melbourne to Sydney when I decided to go up there. So I was doing everything, putting everything in motion, taking all this action as if this move was going to happen. Okay, again, sending a really clear, strong message, this is happening. From there, I started taking action. So I started, just following up on kind of the ideas I was having. I was contacting certain employers, I was contacting people who had apartments available, and I was really just, getting things happening, creating some momentum around this. And what you'll find tends to happen when you sort of set an intention and then start taking action towards it is you'll start attracting things into your life, and very often they're not always exactly what you want. When you start out, they're not a perfect match, so I'd be attracting opportunities to move into apartments that weren't the right amount of rent for what I could afford, weren't in a location that I wanted to live in, weren't with the types of people I wanted to live with. And same with job opportunities. Some of them weren't the right pay, some of them weren't the right type of role, and etc., etc. But I was still attracting things to me. And so rather than looking at them and being like, oh, that's just not what I want, and getting quite frustrated about it, I would look at it and I would say, okay, what aspects of this are actually a match to what I want? And this is the point that I make on the blog post about celebrating the closeness of the match. So I'd look at, for example, these apartments, and I'd be like, okay, it's not the rent that I want, or maybe it's not the location that I want, but you know what? By the looks of the photos, it's actually a real match to the style of place that I want to live in. And you know what? Maybe with this particular one, the types of housemates actually sound like the real, types of people I want to live with, and that's really, really cool. So I'd be like, oh, okay, this actually ticks about 3 out of the 10 boxes of what I kind of want. And I do the same with my job. And when you're doing that, you're actually starting to send a message out that yes, I am getting what I want. Yes, what I want is coming. And you are putting more energy off that's saying, that's giving messages to the universe of what it is that you do want, and confirming that it's on its way. Because otherwise, if you're just dismissing everything that's coming, you're not being grateful, you're not appreciating the fact that opportunities are coming to you, and you're sending this constant message that what I want just isn't happening, okay? So that was also what I did. And alongside that, I mentioned the word gratitude, and I mentioned this on the blog post. I was being extremely grateful. Any person who emailed me back, I was like, oh, thank you, that is fantastic. Any job opportunity that arose, I was like, yes, that's great, another job that I can apply for. I was constantly saying thank you to the universe. I was saying thank you in advance. So I was like, oh, I'm so thrilled about this move, and I just can't wait to do it. And thank you, universe, for lining everything up for me. And I was just keeping my energy really positive about this. And what I was also doing to maintain that energy was doing little notes, and I mentioned this in the blog post too. Every day, keeping little notes about what I was doing, what was happening. Today I emailed this employer, today the employer sent me the job description, today I had a great phone conversation with this person in Sydney who might have an apartment available. So I was just constantly affirming what was happening, what I was doing, and what was unfolding. Okay. So I did this for a good couple of months, and these are all the steps that I mentioned. And what happened was that 2 weeks leading up to this move to Sydney, I did not have a place to live, and I did not have a job. I had lots of kind of leads in place, but I had nothing confirmed. However, this did not deter me. This did not cause me to give up. I did not allow what I was seeing outside of me to change my internal state and how I was feeling inside of me. And this is the final key component, guys. It's trust. It's really trusting that when you set a powerful intention from your heart and you believe with every part of your being that this is going to happen, you just have to trust that the universe will support you and everything will come together. So I was 2 weeks out from my move. I had booked my flight and nothing had come together. But I stayed positive. And literally a couple of days later, I got offered a job. I got offered the exact job that I wanted. The start date was 2 days after I arrived in Sydney, and everything just suddenly came together perfectly with that. And that was my little sign where I was like, you know what? This is happening. The universe is supporting me. It is bringing everything together, and I know that the apartment is going to come together as well. And what do you know, 1 week before I was due to move to Sydney, I confirmed an apartment. I found a beautiful apartment to live in with the perfect amount of rent, an amazing, beautiful place to live, beautiful housemates, a fantastic location. It was perfect. And I was able to move in there 2 days before I started in my job, literally the weekend that I arrived in Sydney. That experience was such a powerful confirmation for me of the power of focusing, remaining positive, implementing these techniques, and really trusting that the universe is going to bring you what you want. I hope that example has inspired you, and if you're on a similar journey to what I was on then, really apply what it is that I'm sharing here. I will send you through the worksheet, and that will have some practical exercises that you can do around focusing. Otherwise, read the blog post, there's a lot of information there, and I hope you can really apply this to where you're at this week. Have a gorgeous week, guys, and I look forward to chatting to you next week and also seeing you in the Facebook group. Bye.